He said, boy, let me tell you something. The worst thing that happened to us since slavery was integration. And I said, wait a minute, Dad. Didn't integration open up doors for us black people? He said, yeah, but it closed some. I said, why do you say that? He said, well, when we were segregated from white people, well, he said white people, when we separated from white folks, we owned our own businesses, our own jobs, our own schools, everything. And it was better than the whites until, like in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Rosewood, Florida, and even out there in California, what did they do? White people burned it to the ground. But my father's point was that when we were forced to deal with one another, we worked with one another. We helped each other. He said white people only came out for integration because they wanted black dollars. That's it. He told me the reason why Branch Rickey brought in the late great Jackie Robinson, because America was not.
Based on everything this man said, for the most part, it's all true. And his name, this man right here, his name is Evander McNeil. And as we can see, this is a little clip from a site called LANCESCURV.com. He has his own website, and of course, he also has his own YouTube page. And I gotta say, pretty much when it comes to the whole concept of integration, I can definitely agree that for the most part, it has been detrimental to the black community because of the fact that everything we had going back to Black Wall Street went out the window, right? And I heard somewhere before that it was Democrats who burnt down Black Wall Street. Um, how true that is, I'm not quite too sure. But honestly, I'm not too surprised because these are the very people who want to try to keep our people, we as black people, on that perpetual plantation for as long as they can. However, though, unfortunately for them, it's not going to work because more and more of us are waking up. And there's definitely, as I mentioned before, there are more of us who are switching to the other party, that being the Republican Party. And I'm pretty sure also some of us who are just sending this whole thing out. And also some who might be going independent, right? So those are definitely some other ways to go as in regards to pretty much escaping from Democrats altogether, right? That's from one side of the spectrum. From the other side, I myself am starting to become more of an advocate or a believer in separation, not segregation, separation. When you compare the two, segregation was government mandated going back, like you said, it's like the 1920s and so with Black Wall Street. Separation, for the most part, is like a personal choice. Like you choose to do that. And I think that should be more so our mindset as a collective, right? And the truth of the matter is, honestly, when it comes to working with your own, that shouldn't just be something that's forced on you or something you feel like you're obligated to do. You should do it because you want to, because it's a desire for you to do so, and also because, most importantly, you need to for your sake and the sake of your people, for your race, your nation. However, the problem with that is many of us have been taught the concept of individualism, meaning what? Basically, do you, right? Which explains why we have a pocket full of individuals who are very successful, while the rest of us, the collective, are struggling out here, struggling to make ends meet. Um, in some cases, having to deal with all the issues within the inner cities, within Black America, um, ranging from things like the um, household dysfunction, to Black on Black crime, to drug trafficking, to drugs, uh, to abortions, to poor lack of education, all types of things, right? And going back to being individuals, along with that, for whatever reason, unlike these other races out here, we as a race, for some reason, feel as though we should not only compete with one another, but we should also try to outdo one another. That makes no sense. Now I can understand you want like a little friendly competition every once in a while, ain't nothing wrong with that. But you shouldn't compete with each other to the point where you dang near want to sabotage one another's business or upcoming, right? You're trying to get to where you want to go, and you should actually be a source or a beacon of support, right? Instead of being an anchor that pulls you back down, which explains the crabs in the barrel mentality that's very pervasive amongst us. And that's definitely one of the big issues that at some point needs to be addressed. And on top of many other issues, like I mentioned just a few seconds ago, which is why, again, um, in regards to separation, when it comes to discussing our problems, our issues, and the solutions to these problems, we should keep it in house. Meaning, the only people we should be having these conversations with is with one another, and not including all these other demographics out here. Because I guarantee you, these other demographics and these other people out here, when they have their problems, their issues, and they're discussing the answers to these problems, they ain't thinking about us, and they damn sure ain't including us either. So that should be more so our mindset, right? And when you incorporate that mindset, you have to understand it's not about hatred, it's not about so much disdain, it's more so about self-preservation, preserving your own, making sure that you and your people progress, move forward instead of regressing and moving backwards. That should be the plan, that should be the end game, and that should be the overall solution. And with that, I just wanted to, give my thoughts and commentary on this little clip right here. And I found it to be very interesting, even though you kind of know this stuff already. In some cases, in some ways, it's still somewhat thought provoking because it makes you think, and it makes you wonder how you know you can incorporate this into your own life, starting with you, starting with your family, and then starting with those close to you with your own little circle, and then moving and then progressing, and then it grows more and more into the communities. And that's why, to close this out, what he said about segregation being a means of us being forced to work with one another, the way this world and this society is going right now, there's going to come a point when our people are going to be forced to work with each other again. And that's actually going to work to our benefit in the long run. So, anyway, that's my time. I'm out. Peace.